One afternoon, in a quiet forest, a young traveler named Ethan came to meet a wise sage who lived alone beneath the tall cedar trees. Ethan's face was pale, his eyes filled with tears. The sage looked at him kindly and asked, "My son, what troubles you so deeply?" Ethan sighed. "I've lost everything.
House.
Robbers took my money, my belongings, even my horse. I have nothing left, not even a way home. How can anyone say this happened for the best?" The sage smiled gently. "Let me tell you a story," he said. "Years ago," the sage began, "a small village was struck by a terrible flood. Everything was destroyed: homes, fields, and hopes. Among those who suffered was a poor farmer named Liam, his wife Grace, and their only son Noah. Their stored grain washed away with the river. Seeing the loss, Noah whispered, 'It's okay, Father. Whatever happens, happens for a reason.' Liam grew angry. 'Don't speak such nonsense,' he shouted. 'We've lost everything. Our food, our house, our future. How can this be good?' He sent his son away in anger. But as the sun began to set, guilt filled his heart. A rescue boat arrived and saved the family. One villager said, 'You scolded your son for nothing.' 'You were saved, wasn't he right?' But Liam replied bitterly, 'Saved? We still have no home, no food. What good is that?' Grace touched his shoulder softly. 'We may not have much,' she said, 'but we still have each other. Let's start again.' The next morning, Liam went to the nearby city searching for work. He knocked on many doors, but no one hired him. Exhausted and hopeless, he returned home to their small straw hut. 'My son is gone. My crops are gone. And people still say everything happens for a reason,' he murmured. Grace smiled gently. 'Try again tomorrow.' Things change when we don't give up. A few days later, Liam met a wandering sage on the road. The old man saw his sadness and asked what had happened. Liam told him everything: the flood, the hunger, his son leaving home. The sage listened and said calmly, "That's why I say whatever happens, happens for good." "But how?" Liam asked. "I'm suffering every day." The sage smiled. "You'll understand in time. Don't lose faith." That night, Liam couldn't sleep. His mind kept replaying the sage's words. Could pain really lead to something good? Days later, a kind merchant offered Liam work in his shop, fair pay, a small home, and enough food for his family. Slowly, life began to change. One night, someone knocked on the door. When Liam opened it, his heart stopped. It was his son, Noah. "Father," Noah said with a bright smile, "you moved and didn't tell me. After I left, I worked in the city, saved money, and opened a small tea stall. It's doing well now. I came to take you with me." Tears rolled down Liam's cheeks. In that moment, he realized every loss, every pain, had quietly guided them toward something better. The sage finished his story. Ethan, the traveler, sat silently for a moment. Then he said, "That's a beautiful story. But in my case, everything was stolen. What good can come from that?" The sage smiled again and reached into his robe. "Actually," he said, "I found this in the forest." He handed Ethan a glowing golden stone, the legendary philosopher's stone, said to turn iron into gold. Ethan's eyes widened. "If my things hadn't been stolen, I'd never have come here, never met you, and never found this." The sage smiled once more. "So you see, my child, even when life feels unfair, it may just be leading you somewhere better. No matter how bad things seem, time changes everything. Pain doesn't last forever. Sometimes life takes away what we think we need, only to give us something greater in return.